Hello and welcome to the ranch. If you're new here, I'm Erin. I am at my main cow stock tank. I'm actually sitting on it because we have sunshine and warm weather today, and the sun's making lighting real difficult today. So we'll see how this all works, if you can see me. Today I am installing hopefully something that's going to keep the stock tank free of ice. We are going to be warmer for the next few weeks, but I am a very long ways away from being done with frozen stock tanks, tank heaters, ice, snow. Like, our last frost date's not till May 20th. So we've got a long haul still until we are done busting ice and dealing with frozen stuff. It is very melty today. I am up here. The cows are here. This is where, water, mineral, all that is at. They got fed not that far from here today, so they might all wander in and out. But we are trying, I'm installing something. There'll be another video to this, but this is just gonna be the installation and the setup of this product. But it's from Stock Tank Solutions. They sent me an email, reached out, asked if I wanted to try the product. So I did not pay for it. It was sent to me, but I will give you an honest review of whether or not it works. We'll check in, we'll see how it does. But today we're just gonna put it on, and I think I understand for the most part, like, how it's supposed to work and everything. I watched some of their videos on their Facebook. I watched some stuff from other producers on all different platforms and stuff. So it really looks like it's going to work. It's a pretty simple system, which simple is great. And I think it's going to help this stock tank. So I do have a tank heater in here. It does not keep up with this tank. It's probably on the older side. I could get a new one. We use what we have. And so that does require that we break ice. And it usually keeps open like right by the tank heater when it's super cold. So even like yesterday morning was like 25 below wind chill. It's been dumb all week. The tank, for the most part, Jeff cleaned it out yesterday. There is still some ice in it, but this is supposed to keep it free and clear, or at least more open than what my tank heater is doing in theory. And it doesn't require electricity. And so that's great. Can save some money on the electric bill. So it's from Stock Tank Solution. It is a ice prevention setup. It requires no batteries, no electricity. The ice sweeper turns on at 41 degrees when the water temperature is 41 degrees and turns off at 42 degrees automatically. It has a thermal sensing valve that is constantly in contact with the water and intermittently releases enough water to prevent surface ice. Great, cool. It also is paired with a freeze miser. Freeze misers have been used on the ranch before, and that's how you keep your hydrant and your supply line from freezing. I'll get it out, we'll put it on, you guys can see how it all works and stuff. So freeze misers let out a continuous drip at certain temperatures, and so that keeps enough water moving that stuff doesn't freeze up. So I'm gonna go grab it. I brought hose and all the things I think I need. I may have to make a trip back to the shop, but we'll see. Here is our solution to no more ice in our tanks. So you can see here is the freeze miser. This is our supply. This is where our supply line, our hose will come in. This is going to mount on the tank. They have different setups for different types of tanks, bottom mounted, top mounted, poly, concrete, different options on their website. And then this is the thermal sensing valve. And then that's going to let water into the tank, and it's connected to this float. So let's go ahead and put this on the tank and get the supply line hooked up, and tank needs a little bit of water, so I'm hoping it'll turn on. I went ahead and set it in the tank. This poly tank does have like a lip on it, but this part had previously been notched out for floats in the summertime. I'm hoping that this will work. It is hitting the side of the tank, so I'll have to keep an eye on that and see if this works with my, no fault to this. If that doesn't work, it's because of my tank setup and because of the slip on it. So we'll see. Maybe we'll need some modifications as we go, but I'm going to grab a screwdriver and I'm going to get that tightened up, and we can connect the hose. How's the mineral, ladies? It is connected to the tank. Ignore the algae. I'll deal with that at some point. Now we just need to connect a hose from the intake to the hydrant. I never throw away scrap hoses. Jeff and I always keep any scrap hose that we can find, or if it gets a hole in it or something, you keep the parts that are still good. So I did find this in the shop. I've already got one end on it. I knew I wasn't going to need much of a hose, but I wanted to wait until I was out here to go ahead and cut it to length. This is a disaster right here. I've got all the water from this part of the lot like drains down here. So this is potentially going to overflow because of the freeze miser. That's what they do. They let out a constant drip that will create some overflow potential. I could divert that, but literally all my water from the lot is running down this way anyhow. So it's going to go where it's going anyhow. Let's see if that's on and not going to leak. Okay, that step's done. I have hose ends in my pocket and a knife and a torch in the gator and, you know, all the things. Part of a hose end. I gotta find a clamp. Found what I need. My car keys for some reason are in my pocket instead of in the house. I don't want to have to kink the hose. So we're going to make it a little bit longer. I do want to move this stock tank so I can use it for both calving cows and heifers. So Jeff and I were talking about it yesterday, actually, of what my plan is, kind of what we think will work, so that it can kind of be split on this fence, because heifers are going to be over here, pre-calving, move into the air equip for calving, and then into another corral for postpartum. There's just ice and muck everywhere here, which is fine. I don't want to melt it. Some of the cows are real interested in the open gate that's behind me. Okay. I need it to slide just a tiny bit further. All right. Screwdriver. Yes, I should have gloves on. No, I don't have gloves on. It'll be all right. This is not like ideal. See, maybe I should have made it slightly smaller. I don't want to do all that again. We're gonna figure it out. If I wrap around here, but that's gonna put a kink in it. Nope. I don't want to make it smaller. Might have to. Trying to get hoses to the right size can be a real pain in the butt. Did I just kink it? No. I went and got a different hose. I had to do a whole different setup because the short hose was actually not working. And partly because it's cold, I think if it was summertime, this would be like a different situation because the hose would be more flexible. So as I was fighting with the hose, it eventually like snapped and broke. It wasn't like the best hose in the world, but I thought it was going to work. Different hose, made a little weird configuration. Part of the problem here is that my hydrant is so close to it and just like the weird angles and stuff that I have to go. So that's just a me setup. That's nothing to do with the device. It's just my personal setup. So I'm going to secure the hose with some plumber straps so it's secured to the fence in multiple spots so that the cows can't mess with it, because how it's set up right now, this wouldn't work. So it wouldn't work long term. It's going to work for right now so we can turn it on and you can see what happens when we turn it on. So the freeze miser is not running right now because it is not cold enough. It is above freezing, and obviously the water is going down to the bottom of that, and that is activated the float device. So the tank is going to fill. That's going to float there. These girls are going to drink the water. It's going to keep filling up. And then when the water temperature drops, then this gets activated. I'm going to let this tank fill. I'm going to, give it maybe like 15 minutes. I'm going to come back and check and see if it did turn off. And so that would push that bottom part up and quit the water from running out the bottom of the device. And yeah, we'll see. My stock tank is almost empty because I ended up having to adjust the float chain. Because of where this has been notched out in order to put a float on it, there is a slight little tiny crack of where like the cut was kind of extended down past the notch. And so I was sitting waiting for it to fill up when we originally did this project. And sure enough, the float wouldn't kick off before water started to spill out that crack. So had to wait for them to drink this down. I did try and stick my arms in it, but it was real cold and icy that day. And I was up to like my armpits in water. So now we're back. Tank is almost empty. I can go ahead and get the float chain adjusted. I just need to shorten the float chain and then we can get this turned back on. Hi, 22. Hi, 45. Okay, can you guys let me do this, please? I think if I just move this down one, that should be what I need done. I have to watch behind me and make sure there's no cows trying to sneak up on me. And shorten that. Ah! Of course, I dropped it. To make sure my hose is not dripping, I tightened it up. Thank you for your help. Appreciate it. I'm gonna let this fill come back and check on this, make sure that the float is adjusted right so that it actually turns off and we don't just overflow. The freeze miser will make it overflow, but I don't want it to just continuously overflow because it's running outside of the tank. I'm actually going to go sort off my bred heifers right now. I'm also going to film that. I'm filming like 3 videos today. So we're going to jump back and forth to this project, but I'm going to go get some cake. I'm going to grab Jeff. We're going to bring these guys in. You guys will see that in a video later this week, but it's almost calving time. Just checking in after I adjusted the float. It may be running just the most minuscule little tiny bit, and this is where it kind of floats out, where it runs out. So just a little fine tuning on my end that needs to happen, but it's set up. It is going to be a few days until I can really find out how this system works, because we have a little bit of unseasonable, it's not really unseasonably warm. We do get kind of these warm melts that happen in February and March. So I will check back and we'll check on this system when it is really cold and see how it's going. We've got lots of freezing days left. Last frost date is May 20th, so plenty of time to check this out and see how it works and give you guys my recommendation after I use it for a while. But it's installed. We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I truly appreciate it, and I will see you next time.